Hey, future millionaires, what if I told you that the credit card sitting in your wallet right now could be costing you literally thousands of dollars every single year? I'm not kidding. Last month alone, I saved $847 just by switching to the right card for my lifestyle. Look, whether you're grinding through college, surviving on ramen noodles, or you're an entrepreneur burning the midnight oil building your empire, you need to hear this. I'm about to reveal the exact credit cards that can literally pay for your textbooks, fund your startup, cover your grocery bills, and even get you free flights to visit family. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to break down the top credit cards specifically designed for students and entrepreneurs in 2025. We're talking about cards that give you up to 6% back on groceries, cover your streaming subscriptions, reimburse your business expenses, and some even give you a $200 sign-up bonus just for breathing. But here's the kicker: 87% of Americans are using the wrong card for their lifestyle. Don't be part of that statistic. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which card to apply for tonight, how to maximize every single dollar you spend, and I'll even share my personal hack that earned me $3,200 in rewards last year alone. And if you're worried about getting approved with limited credit history, or you're just starting your business, stick around because I've got some insider secrets that credit card companies definitely don't want you to know. Trust me, your bank account will thank you later. Alright, let's get real for a second. I know what you're thinking. Another credit card video? Really? But hear me out. Last year I tracked every single purchase I made, and I discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. The average American spends about $5,000 per month. Students typically spend around $1,500, and entrepreneurs, we're all over the place. Sometimes $3,000, sometimes $15,000, depending on how crazy our month gets. Now, if you're using a basic bank debit card or some random credit card you got in college, you're essentially giving away free money. It's like walking into Starbucks and paying $6 for your latte when you could be paying $3 and getting a free cookie. Makes no sense, right? Let's start with my college warriors out there. I remember being a student, broke, stressed, and living off whatever was cheapest at the grocery store. But here's what I wish someone had told me back then. Card #1, discover its student cashback. This card is absolutely perfect for students, and here's why. First off, no annual fee, because let's be honest, you're already spending enough on overpriced textbooks. But the real magic happens with their rotating categories. Every quarter you get 5% cash back on different things. Q1 might be gas stations and grocery stores, Q2 could be restaurants and streaming services, Q3 might be Amazon and Target, and here's the beautiful part: they give you 1% on everything else. But wait, it gets better. In your first year, they double all your cash back, so that 5% becomes 10%, and that 1% becomes 2%. I'm not joking. This is literally free money for doing what you're already doing. Let's do some quick math. Say you spend $300 a month on groceries during the grocery quarter. That's $90 over 3 months. At 10% back, you're earning $9 just on groceries. Add in gas, streaming services, Amazon purchases, you could easily earn $150, $200 in your first year just from normal student spending. And they throw in your FICO credit score for free. Most banks charge you for this, but Discover just gives it to you. It's like getting a financial report card every month. Card #2, Capital One Saver One student. Now, if you're the type of student who lives on DoorDash and spends more at restaurants than the grocery store, and no judgment here, we've all been there, the Capital One Saver One student card might be your soulmate. This baby gives you 3% back on dining, 3% on entertainment, 3% on streaming services, and 1% on everything else. No annual fee, obviously, because Capital One isn't trying to rob college students. Here's a little secret though. They count food delivery as dining. So your late night Uber Eats orders, 3% back. Your Netflix subscription, 3% back. That movie you went to see with your friends, 3% back. It's like they designed this card for the modern student lifestyle. If you're spending $200 a month on dining and entertainment, which, let's be honest, is pretty normal for a social college student, that's $72 back per year. Not life-changing, but definitely enough for a nice dinner or two. Card #3, Chase Freedom student. Now, if you want to think ahead and potentially upgrade to some really premium cards later, the Chase Freedom student is your strategic play. It gives you 1% on everything, but here's why it's brilliant. It's your entry point into the Chase ecosystem. Once you graduate and start making Card #5, Capital One Spark Cash for Business. Now, if you want to keep things simple and you're spending across a lot of different categories, the Capital One Spark Cash gives you a flat 2% back on everything. Everything. No categories to track, no limits, no complications. The beauty of this card is in its simplicity. Whether you're buying inventory, paying for marketing, covering travel expenses, or purchasing equipment, you're always earning. I actually used this card when I first started my business because I didn't want to think about categories. I just wanted to know that every business expense was earning me money back. And at the end of the year, I had earned over $1,200 in cashback just from normal business spending. Card hash 6, American Express Business Gold. Now, if you're ready to step up your game and you're spending serious money on your business, the Amex Business Gold is where things get interesting. Yes, it has a $295 annual fee, but stick with me here. You get 4x points on the 2 categories where you spend the most each month, up to $150,000 per year. The categories include advertising, gas stations, restaurants, and shipping, then 1x point on everything else. Here's where it gets crazy good. Let's say you're spending $2,000 a month on advertising and $1,000 a month on restaurants and client dinners. That's $36,000 per year across those categories. At 4x points, you're earning 144,000 points annually. Those points are worth at least 1 cent each for cashback, but if you transfer them to airlines, they could be worth 2-3 cents each. So we're talking about $1,440 to $4,320 in value from just those 2 categories. The $295 annual fee suddenly looks pretty small, doesn't it? Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to actually use these cards in your daily life, because knowing about a card and maximizing a card are 2 completely different things. Groceries and food. Food is probably your biggest expense category, whether you're a student or entrepreneur. Here's how to absolutely maximize your returns. Students. If you have the Discover It student and it's a grocery quarter, use that card for everything food related. We're talking 10% back in your first year. Stock up during these quarters if you can. Entrepreneurs. The Amex Business Gold can be phenomenal if restaurants are one of your top categories. All those client dinners, networking events, coffee meetings, 4x points adds up fast. Last month alone, I spent $847 on business meals and earned over 3,000 points. That's enough for a domestic flight, or about $30.60 in value depending on how I use them. Gas and transportation. Gas prices are absolutely insane right now, so getting money back on gas is crucial. The Chase Inc. business. Cash gives you 5% back on gas stations up to $25,000 per year. If you're driving to client meetings, making deliveries, or just commuting, this adds up quickly. I have a friend who runs a food truck and he puts all his gas purchases on this card. He's spending about $800 a month on gas, so he's earning $480 per year just from filling up his truck. That pays for the annual fee and then some. Streaming and entertainment. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, HBO Max. We're all subscribed to like 47 different streaming services, right? The Capital One Saver One gives you 3% back on streaming services. If you're spending $50 a month across all your subscriptions, that's $18 back per year. Not huge, but it's literally free money for watching The Office for the 847th time. Online shopping and business expenses. Amazon, office supplies, software subscriptions. These are huge categories for both students and entrepreneurs. The Discover It. Student crushes it when online shopping is the rotating category, and the Chase Inc. Business Cash gives you 5% back on office supplies. I spend about $300 a month on software subscriptions for my business, things like Canva Pro, Zoom, Slack, project management tools. With the right card, I'm earning 5% back on all of that, which is $180 per year. Insider secrets and pro tips. Alright, now I'm going to share some insider secrets that most people don't know about. These are the tricks that separate the credit card amateurs from the pros. The sign-up bonus game. Most of these cards offer sign-up bonuses if you spend a certain amount in the first few months. The key is to time your application with big expenses you were already planning. When I applied for my Chase Inc. Business Cash, I needed to spend $3,000 in 3 months to get the $750 bonus. I timed it with buying new equipment for my business that I was planning to buy anyway. Boom, instant $750 profit. The category optimization strategy. Here's something most people mess up. They get one card and use it for everything. That's not optimal. The pros use different cards for different categories to maximize rewards. A perfect student setup might look like this. Discover It Student FO.